Doctor Who, and we'll be returning to today's Tom Baker episode in just a few moments here on Channel 25. But first of all, during this intermission, if you've been having fun, we need you to go to the telephone and let us have some fun also by taking your pledge of support to ensure for the future of programming here on Channel 25. As you know, 6,858 new members what we're looking for. The number is now 4,117. That's pretty good, but now we've got to keep it moving along with more new members, and we're going to keep doing our countdown. I think we're to about the 65 new member mark is all that we need between this break and the next break. That means about 35 new members, 33 new members each break, and we'll make it. So don't let us down. If you're a Doctor Who fan, go to your telephone right now. And if you want one of these great Doctor Who premiums, pledge the 60 or the 120. But even if you pledge just $30, that's okay with us. Let us know that the programming that WVIZ has on the air is the kind of programming that you enjoy. And you can do that by going to your telephone and calling your pledge in to one of our volunteer operators. Now, someone called in and said, you know, I'm from out of the area. I wasn't sure the area code to call because of this graphic that we have on. The area code is 216. So call that number and just put a 216 in front of it. If you're calling from outside of our area, if you'd like to call collect to make your pledge, we'll even accept collect charges. But just let us know that the kind of programming that we're offering is something that you find interesting. Because, you know, Doctor Who is different than anything else that we have on the dial here on Channel 25. It's different than, obviously, opera and some of the other musical programming, different from the science and nature documentary, obviously different than public affairs, and certainly not the same as Sesame Street or Mr. Rogers. But that's what public television is all about, to be able to present a lineup of programs that are different, a lineup of programs that keep audiences entertained, that keep audiences educated, but most of all that allows an audience to come to public television, spend some time, and walk away saying that they felt that that time was well spent and worthwhile. And if Doctor Who does that for you, a little bit of escapist television every week, as you sit down to watch some great science fantasy programming, we hope that you will now go to your telephone and ring one of these wonderful folks up with your pledge of support. We would love to take your pledge. They would love to take your pledge. And we hope that you will start getting these numbers moving along and start getting us down as close to that zero mark as we can get. The people you're looking at is the Westlife Member Club, the Pioneer Community Services, the Nathan C. Kingsbury chapter. Now, these folks are all former Ohio Bell and AT&T employees, and they come down to our membership drive every year and pledge their support to keep things moving along. And we hope, pledge their time, I should say, their support in that way to keep things moving along. Most of them are members also. And we hope now that you will go to your phone and give them a call with your pledge of support. Now, if you would call and make a $60 membership to WVIZ, I'll show this to you again because we've had a lot of popularity on this. This is the Doctor Who University of Gallifrey mug. It's a wonderful, wonderful, whimsical kind of a mug, because obviously there's no University of Gallifrey, but you can tell everybody that you have a doctorate degree from this university if you'd like. There you see the logo, and right in the middle you have the TARDIS, and it's a nice big mug. As I can get my hand in here, a fist in here, you can see how big that is. I don't know if it would hold 16 ounces. I bet it might. It's obviously much bigger than the typical coffee mug. Here's a regular coffee mug. You slide it in next to it. So you can see how the average mug is about this tall as opposed to a little bit higher here on the University of Gallifrey mug. And this will come to you as our way of saying thank you for your $30 pledge. And by the way, this little black and white mug here, black and gray I should say, will come to you if you would consider becoming a $30 member of WVIZ. So this for 30, this for 60, and if you become a $120 member of WVIZ, then we've got the great big T-shirt, the Doctor Who disappearing TARDIS T-shirt, because what happens is when it gets warm from sunlight or just the heat of your body, if you're in some sort of activity that makes you a little bit warm, and we'll leave that up to you, the TARDIS will actually disappear. The Doctor Who logo will stay on all the time, but the TARDIS will disappear. And fear not, because when it cools down, the Doctor Who TARDIS will come back again. So this will come to you as our way of saying thank you for a $120 pledge. But right now, you can see the numbers are down to 59. We've got to really get these numbers moving along. If you would call and charge your pledge, you'll receive, in addition to everything else we've talked about, the little WVIZ letter opener. It isn't really a big deal, but it allows us to get you into our system a little bit more quickly. By giving us your charge number, we can get you into the system, and you can get to your program guide a little faster. Don't have to write a check, don't have to buy a stamp, don't have to walk to the mailbox even. And this little gizmo is just a little token of our appreciation, a nice little way of zipping open those letters that come to your house. The little recessed blade won't hurt you a bit, and yet it will open letters neatly and nicely, and we'd love to send you that. Okay, right now I can see only about 5 or 6 people on the telephone as I look back in the studio. That means that there are plenty of phones available for you. If Doctor Who is something that you enjoy, If Doctor Who is something that you've watched this year and maybe for years and years and have never called and pledged, don't wait any longer. I wish I knew the magic. I wish I knew what it would take. Maybe if we took the series off the air, then people would say, oh yes, well now I'd be willing to pay $30 to get Doctor Who back on. But because it's on, I won't go that extra step. That's what we fear is so prevalent within the audiences of public television, that if the programs went off the air, those people would say, yes, I absolutely would pay $30 to bring it back because I really enjoy it. But most people sit back and let the other fellow do it. We don't know why that is. You must know why. You're one of those if you haven't called. Let's change that trend right now. Change it for yourself, though. You know, if there's a great magazine that you enjoy in your home, the only way you get there is by paying a subscription. There's maybe a newspaper that you read each and every morning, and if it wasn't there, you'd be disappointed. The only way you get that is by paying the paper boy or the paper girl. And public television is much the same kind of service. It needs your support voluntarily to subscribe. And don't wait for your neighbor to do it because he may be sitting back just like you. You go to your phone right now because you know that it's good for you and it's the right thing to do. We're going to listen to a moment of music, try to get these telephones ringing. We're down to 57. We need to get down to around the 30 mark by this break. That means another 27 more new members, and we'll be on our way. Then we'll have to get 30 after the program also. So go to your phone right now and give us a call. We're waiting to hear from you at 459-2525. Well, a few telephones have rung, not as many as we need to ring to make it down to that 30 new member mark. We're down to where we need 23 new families and friends to go to their telephones and pledge their support. We just hope we can hear from you. Everybody, no matter who you are. By the way, I know that there are a few out there who, for financial reasons or whatever, cannot support. And we understand that. And we don't expect to hear from you. And maybe the day will come when you can support, and that's great. But the fact of the matter is that most of you watching could support. Another fact, which is absolutely true, is that 90% of those who watch Doctor Who on a regular basis are not members of the station, meaning that they let 10% of those who watch the program make it possible. We need to change it. You need to change it. I said this earlier during the Rocky and Bullwinkle show, that if you were standing in line at the grocery counter, when you got up to pay your bill for your groceries, the person at the checkout said, well, you other 9 people in front of you charged theirs to you also, you wouldn't feel too happy about that. In effect, that's kind of the way that it works in public television. When 10% make the programming impossible for the other 90%, it just isn't fair, we don't think, and our members say that they would like some help, because it's a wonderful thing to do. By being a member, you get the program guide every month, and you're going to say, wow, how did I ever get along without this? Because there's great things on public television that I never knew about. That's what the program guide will do for you. So for right now, let's go back and see the conclusion of Doctor Who. And for those of you who are feeling a little bit guilty about enjoying all this great television without helping to make it possible, you can relieve that guilt by calling and pledging your support at 459-2525. We'll be here, and we hope we'll hear from you. Let's go back and see the conclusion of Doctor Who.